Hello and welcome back to another episode of Crow Wing FPV. Again, I'm Matt, and I don't know crap about FPV, but I am learning. And as I learn, hopefully I can pass on something to somebody else who's in the same shoes as me. So today I want to focus more on cameras. Cameras are a big passion of mine. I'm actually a photographer. I do real estate photography, I do portrait photography, I do a lot of different types of photography. I do some videography, more so now than I have in the past. And drones are just something that are just fun. Quads are something it was like the next evolution. Jumping into FPV was kind of the next step for me. And I'm still new. I've really only been doing it for a couple months. I took about a month off from it, and that's why in my previous episode it was a month after for part 2 of testing out this little unit here. It's just busy, work, life, you know how it is. But I was originally using it's not here anymore, I was originally using a Session 5 when I first started off, and due to unfortunate circumstances I ended up fail-safing, and it fell from about, I don't know, my 5-inch quad, that one right there, fell from probably about a good 100 feet and just went straight into face down into some gravel and just destroyed my Session 5. So I went out and I picked up this guy here. This is the CaddxFPV Orca. It's the same footprint, same size as the Session 5. This is a case off of the Session 5, or not the case, but the kind of the mounting case. And I mean, it goes right in there, and you can still use it. It's interchangeable. I mean, it's a little bit bigger. I don't know if you can see it here. It's a little bit bigger, but you know what? It still works, still fits. You can still use this to mount the Orca onto existing GoPro mounts and whatnot. The quality of it isn't the same as the Session 5. And I wish I had the ability, or I still had my Session 5 so that I could actually show you side by side. I would strap 2 of these together and put them on something and fly it around so that you could see it. The Session 5 definitely was a better quality. However, it's still not bad. It's less than $100. Less than $100. It gets you 4K 30. It gets you 2K 1080p. You get an app with it that, for the most part, works pretty well. It has electronic image stabilization, and I'll go through the menus and I'll show you all this. It has a lot of settings for shutter, ISO, auto white balance, all that stuff that you can config manually in here to really make your shot the way that you want it to be. However, I have run into a couple issues where I've had a little less than soft landings, and it would eject the SD card out the back. Thankfully, it's got this little piece of rubber on here that protects it. Otherwise, I would have lost, my SD card. But it will sometimes snap out of here. I don't know if that just happens with a less than soft landing sometimes, or it was just kind of a couple freak accidents. Other than that, I mean, I'm happy with it. If I break it, if I destroy it, who cares? It does come with a replacement glass lens protector on the front. When you get this in the mail, or when you purchase it, you do get another new piece here. As far as mounting it, I use this TPU printed mount, and it just slides in from the back side, and it fits nice and snug. And there's a little plastic ring that just snaps in here and holds it into place. I don't necessarily trust the plastic ring, so I end up using just some Gorilla Tape across the back and the side right here, and it works fantastic. It doesn't come off, it doesn't budge. I'm not worried about losing the camera dropping off and hitting somebody in the head, or worse, hitting me in the head. But yeah, so enough of me talking about this. Let's go to see what it looks like. So here we go. Okay, so in this video here, you're going to see that there's no EIS, no stabilization, no color grading. This is just raw, straight out of the camera. All right, so I'm going to test out this Caddx Orca again. I'm using the camera itself with its microphone. I'm not using any external microphone or nothing, so we'll see how this turns out. And now this video is with the EIS turned on. Now if you notice from the previous video, there's a little bit of wobble in the video, not jello, but wobble from the drone, kind of going like this. And this one, it's a lot smoother, and I really don't see a whole lot of jello at all with the EIS turned on. It's still doing, you know, the turns, the banks, and everything like that. It's still picking that up, but that little jitter that I was getting in the previous video, it's not there anymore. So that's good. I mean, it takes care of that. The color is, you know, not the greatest, but it can be color graded, and I'll give you an example of color grading here. So if you want to look, this is a color graded version. The settings on this are pretty simple. There's nothing too crazy about it, and I'm going to go over these with you here. Alright, so first of all, you need to connect to your Wi-Fi, to the actual unit itself, and then you open up the app. Alright, so you're going to start off with the camera view, and then if you go up to the right, you get into the device settings. You just click that little gear. So here are the resolution settings here. I'm going to scroll. There we go. And then we got video segments. You know, here's the whole list. I'm just going to go through it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory with these. You know, you can adjust the auto white balance to whatever it is that you need. You know, whatever you want to go with. Exposure settings, ISO. I just left the ISO on auto. Normally when I shoot, I'm always putting that on 100, but it's fine. That does pop up from time to time. Just click on continue using Wi-Fi. And then if you go up to device settings in the top right here, you're able to change the start action. So when you first turn it on, when you click the record button, what's it going to do? And I might as well hit auto sync time. There we go. And you know, in there you can format the SD card. You can do a factory reset on it. It's actually a pretty decent little menu for it. All in all, I have to say that it's not great, but for less than $100, it's gonna give you a pretty good quality video. Good enough for YouTube, good enough for, you know, your own personal stuff. I wouldn't use it professionally, not in any way. You know, if I was doing it, if I needed something professional, it would more than likely be, you know, a GoPro. And that's just all there really is to it. The GoPro does do a way better job. The the problem with the GoPros is really you have to do a naked GoPro. I've been looking into the Insta360 Go 2 because most of everything I do in video is going to be 1080p. I don't do 4K. There's really no reason for it because everything is being viewed online anyhow. So as of right now, 4K, it's a nice feature, but it's not necessary. It's not needed, at least not for me. So if I'm doing the Go 2, I really want to test it out. I've seen some videos of the Go 2 and it doesn't look bad. And the horizon control and everything like that that it had, or the horizon lock, excuse me, is actually pretty impressive. And the 180-degree field of view is actually pretty nice as well. But I'm still not sold on the quality of it. You know, when I look at some people with the GoPros, I see some really nice quality. Even some of my older footage with the Session 5, the quality is much crisper. It's cleaner. You can see further, and things are like trees in the distance are much crisper and much cleaner. And ultimately, you get what you pay for. And I'm fine running this little Orca for funsies. I mean, I'm not worried about that for basic stuff. But I do plan on doing either for doing like really good video. I do plan on doing the GoPro Hero or the GoPro Hero 9 or 8. I don't know which one I'm going to go with quite yet. Or I'm going to do the Insta360 SMO 4K. I can't decide which one I'd rather have. So with that, I appreciate you watching this episode, and again, please click the subscribe and hit that bell for me. Thank you.